Yeah, so we've been working on breaking up those pictures, right, into easy shapes. And there was a reason for that. Today, I want to talk a little bit about an artist and the style of paintings that he used. And we're going to copy one of his styles. He was a very famous artist, and he invented a style that wasn't really used before. And so he
Is
made
that
it
a
very
good,
unique.
very artist?
What's that?
Good artist.
Yeah, I think he was a great artist. I mean, he was pretty famous.
Yeah.
So let me.
What's the artist's name?
So his name was Andy Warhol. Okay, and I have here. Yeah,
Tomato too. Andy is my name.
yeah, that's right. And yeah, he was actually famous because he painted this can of tomato soup. And we have this really short book just to find out a little bit more about his life. And then I'm going to show you the project that we're going to work on. So Andy Warhol was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1928. He helped develop pop art, one of the best known and most fun periods of art ever. Andy Warhol also became one of the most famous artists ever. He may have been the first and only art superstar. So there are lots of other artists that are famous, but nobody was like considered like a superstar like Andy Warhol. His best known paintings and prints are usually really, really brightly colored. They have simple, strong shapes that really stand out. Andy often showed things that were a popular part of everyday life, like supermarket products, like a Pepsi can or a Pepsi bottle, and other rock stars like Elvis Presley. So the name pop art comes from the word popular. So he painted popular things, things that we would see every day, which was totally different than what was done before.
Whoa.
So when people first started seeing pop art, many of them were shocked. They couldn't believe that serious artists would make sculptures and pictures of such ordinary objects. People were so used to seeing paintings of famous people or paintings of landscapes. Nobody really did paintings of cheeseburgers because, like, why would you do a painting of a cheeseburger? But Andy Warhol decided to do that. That was what he wanted to do as like his art style. And he wasn't the only one. There were others like Claes Oldenburg and Roy Lichtenstein. They were doing very similar work, and they were creating things that were just important in their lives. So this one's called Wham, and it's two airplanes, and it looks like they're shooting each other down, right? And then we have these cheeseburgers right here, which is really, really cool. Right? Andy Warhol had a natural talent for art. His mother encouraged him and even helped him with his drawings when he was little. She was a pretty good artist too. But at an early age, when he was very young, Andy started having strange medical problems. First, he started feeling nervous and shaky a lot. Then, for some reason, he started to lose his skin color. He was becoming paler all the time. So his mom insisted that he spend a lot of time resting in bed. He enjoyed taking time out to rest. He colored, he read his favorite comic books, he listened to the radio. And he especially liked reading movie magazines. He always loved movies. He dreamed about the exciting and glamorous lives of his favorite movie stars. And this is just a drawing of like what he would be doing in his room. Check that out. Pretty easy. Uh, pretty fun. And his mom is saying, Andy, darling, would you like to rest up a little more with some of my brownies or go to school today? He's like, oh, well, I guess I'll stay home. Of course, you're getting brownies at home. That's like the best. Andy showed much interest in art at school that his teachers suggested he take weekend art classes at the nearby Carnegie Museum of Art. Andy met other talented kids there. Some of them were from rich families, though. For the first time, Andy saw how wealthy people lived. He imagined how nice it must be to have lots of money. Right? He's got, look at that fancy car with the nice doggy, ooh, and a driver. And this is poor Andy. Wow, maybe someday I can get a car like that. Even though Andy's family never had much money, Andy's father managed to save enough to send his son to art college. After Andy graduated from high school, he studied design and illustration at the Carnegie Institute of Technology. While he was there, he developed an unusual art style. He drew his subject in pencil and then went over the pencil lines in ink. Before the ink dried, Andy pressed his picture down on a clean sheet of paper and it left him blotted lines and blotted looks. So it was almost like he was making his own print by his own stamp. So he would get the paper really wet with the marker, put another piece of paper on top, and it would look something like this. It was very cool. After Andy graduated from art college, he went to New York City to look for a job because he had very little money. He carried his drawings and artwork around in a brown paper grocery bag. After showing his work to a lot of different advertising agencies and magazine publishers, Andy finally got lucky. An art director at Glamour magazine asked Andy to do some drawings of shoes to illustrate a story. Andy was thrilled. Not only was he going to make some money, but shoes were one of Andy's favorite things to draw. And you see, this is one of his illustrations of the shoes. And a lot of his work is about shoes. Just letting you know. Here's another one. Later on, Andy did a whole series of ads for a big shoe store in New York. And he even made some fun shoe drawings for himself. He kept using his blotted line method, and everyone thought his illustrations were really original and great fun. His blotted line art seemed to have an energy to it, almost like it was dancing around on the page. Andy kept getting more and more jobs, and before he knew it, he was making lots of money. Back in this time, there weren't printers or anything, so any types of posters had to be made by hand. So he was being paid by lots of different stores to make posters to help them sell things. Finally, Andy was able to move into a nice big apartment. By this time, Andy's father had died, and his mother decided to move in with him. Andy was getting more work all the time. Not only was he doing magazine illustrations, but he started decorating department store windows. He was also designing greeting cards, record albums, and book covers. He even drew suns, clouds, and raindrops for a television weather report. So if you know the maps where they do the forecasts of the weather, he drew the little raindrops, he drew the suns and the winds for those reports. He had so much work that he sometimes asked his friends to help him finish things up. Andy's mom often did hand lettering for his illustrations. Andy was becoming one of the busiest and wealthiest illustrators in New York City. So lots and lots of work. He had friends help, he had his mom help, but he was still making all that money. When he found time to relax, Andy often went to movies and art galleries. During this time, Andy saw the work of two artists that really impressed him. Jasper Johns and Robert Rauschenberg were doing new and exciting things with painting and sculpture. Both of these artists had also done department store window displays like Andy, but now they were becoming famous for their more serious artwork. Andy Warhol decided it was time for him to become a serious artist too. So this painting up here, the three flags, was made by Jasper Johns. And this is a sculpture over here by Robert Rauschenberg. And so he decided, it's not much longer on a few more pages. And we're getting to the good stuff too. So he decided that he wanted to be serious. He wanted to become more than just like a poster maker and a window store decorator. He wanted to be like known for just his paintings. Even though Andy's dream of making lots of money was coming true, there was still something that he wanted. More than anything else in the world, Andy wanted to be famous. Andy went to work right away. He made paintings of comic strip characters, newspaper ads, and supermarket products. Andy was looking for a way to make his art different from anyone else's, but he wasn't getting anywhere. No one seemed at all interested in Andy's paintings. So even though he started drawing like more things that people saw, like comic books, like this Superman one right here, or things that we saw in newspapers, he still wasn't becoming as famous as he thought he was. Andy started getting nervous about what to do. Finally, a friend told him she knew exactly what to do, but it would cost Andy $50 to find out. Andy gladly paid his friend. She told him that since he loved money so much, he should paint money. For the same $50, she added another idea: to paint something he saw every day, like a can of Campbell's soup. Andy thought his friend's ideas were great. Right away, he started painting pictures of money and soup cans. Andy Warhol often asked people for ideas. He thought it was a normal part of creating things. Andy always made sure, though, that the way that he showed those ideas was original and all his own. So this is one of his first paintings of the tomato soup can that became really, really popular. And then you'll see that he also loved to paint money. Andy worked as hard as he could. He painted his soup cans on blank backgrounds to make them stand out and seem very important. Andy tried to make his paintings of money and canned soup look like they were printed or made by a machine, the way that they were made in real life. He thought repeated images were an important part of pop art too, because things are repeated in real life all the time. It's kind of like when you see the same TV commercials all the time, or the same ads and billboards popping up. TV news shows and newspapers often repeat the same story over and over again too. So this one is called 100 Cans. So he drew the exact same can 100 times on this canvas. This one over here is called the front and back dollar bills. And you can see it's so long because he made so many copies of exactly the same thing. But he did each one by hand. Andy Warhol's paintings finally started catching on. People enjoyed the fun, bright colors and pictures of things that were familiar to them. Andy was so busy, he not only had to get help from his mother and friends, he also had to hire assistants. They all worked in a big factory, in a big studio that Andy called the factory. Andy started using a way to print his paintings called photo silk screening. Now he and his helpers could make hundreds of copies of each painting. Sometimes Andy gave unclear directions to his assistants. He wanted to see if they would come up with interesting surprises. So for example, here he says this is one of his workers and he's like, here it is, Andy, one painting 20 feet high. But Andy says, I thought I said 20 paintings 1 foot high. Oh, well, it looks great. So he just rolled with it. Andy Warhol went on to make paintings and prints of all kinds of popular subjects. So he made this painting of a Color Your Own, right? He made a painting of Marilyn Monroe, which was a famous actress. He did a cow. He did copies of newspaper articles, a can of tuna, right here.
And Marilyn Monroe was an actor, famous actor.
That's right, and she was married to a famous baseball player. Remember, Alejandro?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For a while.
A book.
Yeah, that's right. For a while, Andy stopped painting and started making movies of everyday events, like the movie Sleep, which showed a man sleeping for 6 hours. That was his whole movie, someone sleeping for 6 hours. Empire showed the same view of the Empire State Buildings for 8 hours. And the movie Eat showed a man eating a mushroom for 45 minutes. Andy's movies got a lot of attention and are considered an important part of art and film history. Andy Warhol's life was filled with excitement. He was always in the news for one reason or another. By the time he died in 1987, he was a wealthy and famous artist, just what he had always hoped to be. This is a self-portrait right here of Andy Warhol. This is what he painted of himself. And again, you can see the pop art style. He's repeating the same image over and over. And here's another one of his prints. He did a print of Mickey Mouse, which was really cool. Andy Warhol's pop art was really more than just a series of fun pictures and popular subjects. His best paintings and prints were beautifully designed. They are strong and powerful images with great colors. Andy's artwork and films made many people take a look around them and think about what really was and wasn't important in their lives. Yeah. All right. So thank you for joining me for that. So this is going to be an example of what our project's going to look like. Can you all see that? Looks cool. So we're going to do a drawing in the style of pop art. Okay. We're going to choose an image. You're going to get to choose whatever thing you want to draw. Okay. It can be anything as simple as an Among Us character, a can of soup, a donut, right? Even like some lips. You can be as creative as you want. But what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the same image and we're going to color them in lots of bright and different colors. Okay. So you have the rest of the time right now to, you can use Google, or if you guys just want to chat and talk it out, come up with an idea of what you want to draw. What is going to be your one thing? And we're going to practice just drawing it today multiple times. We're not going to add color. Yeah. We're not going to make the squares. All we're doing is coming up with what you want to draw, and we're going to practice that drawing.
A Roblox character.
Okay, perfect. Do you know what Roblox character you want?
I want to do myself, my Roblox avatar.
Perfect. So you can go on like your Roblox account and look at a picture of what it look at on the screen and see what it looks like. And I want you to try drawing an outline. Ooh, look at that. Alejandra already drew an Among Us character, which was really cool. If that's what you want to do, that's totally fine.
I'm gonna go to my Roblox account, okay?
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
I have it here on my computer.
Yeah, you guys can use Google on your computer. If you want me to share my screen and help you come up with ideas, I can help you come up with ideas. One of the reasons we did like a ketchup bottle and a soup, it's because those are, I'm sorry, and a shoe, is because those are very common things. If you have a favorite pair of shoes, you can use one of your shoes as your inspiration.
Okay, so I need to do 3D.
Okay, 3D might be a little hard, right, bud? So start with something.
But there's like a kind of like the Roblox character. So I need the body first.
Okay, yeah.
How can I do the body?
Let me take a look. I'm Googling right now just a Roblox character. Just to see kind of what it would look like. So Alejandro, if you're trying to do like a Roblox character,
like me.
I recommend you do something like this one and then add your details after. But he's going to be a little bit easier because we can see the easy shapes like the squares.
I need like that girl, the one. I need that body because I have that body.
So this is like a Lego body, right?
Yeah, I have that, but I'm gonna do the noob one.
Okay. So remember, what you want to try to do is you want to try to break it up into those easy shapes. So
how do I do it? So I do
to outline. So for example, I know the legs are rectangles, right? Yeah. So I can draw 2 rectangles for the legs. And I'm sorry, this is a little messy, but I will do my best to do that, fix it.
Me too.
Main body is a square or a rectangle. We have an arm that looks like it's 2 rectangles put together, one here and one right here. 2 more rectangles.
I messed up.
Okay. The head looks like a square or a rectangle also. So you can start with this outline and then you can start adding some details to it.
So can I do my Roblox character?
Yeah, of course. Like I'm saying, so all you have to do is use this outline and then you can add the details of the character. Nice. Alejandra, I like that you're drawing it bigger. Excellent. Try practicing it a couple more times. Make sure that you can draw it almost exactly the same every time. That's what's important about pop art, right? They were repeating the image every time.
Hello.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Also, everyone, we have lunch bunch, okay?
Yes, we do have a lunch bunch in a little bit after we're done with class. Just working on practicing our idea for our pop art for right now.
Today?
Yeah, today. We're going to do one today after class.
Why also there's a warning for everyone in this class. If you
What
do
time
not
is
like worms, if you do not like worms, do
Yeah.
not look. Okay, block your ears, close your eyes if you don't like worms, okay?
I like worms.
Okay, but you're going to see someone eat them. Would you like that?
Jacqueline, just remember we're still recording.
Okay.
Still art time, so please make sure we save that for lunch time. Thank you.
But that's a warning, okay? Okay.
Any questions or comments about art right now?
This Mr. Camacho.
This is another warning.
I did good, but
Let's take a look. Oh, that looks great, buddy. Excellent. Yeah.
now I'm gonna look like a girl now.
So,
I'm a girl.
Alejandro, just remember that when we are doing our pop art, we're most likely going to do 4 pieces. So you want to practice drawing it a little bit bigger to make sure that you can fit it with your color and details.
And I do like my Roblox avatar.
Yeah, you can do whatever. If you want to start with something even easier, you can do a logo of something.
Ooh, I'm gonna do this. Where is the shirt?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the shirt so it has new pumpkin top.
Yeah, so if you have like a favorite superhero or something like that, and you want to use their logo, it's kind of like drawing the donut. It doesn't have to be anything too complicated.
It's all black. It's all black.
You just want to be able to repeat the pattern.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna do black because that's my first thing.
So I'm going to share my screen again just to share my examples. So again, a can of soup might be helpful if you have it. You don't need, a soda can. It can be a pencil, maybe your favorite stuffed animal. It can be anything that you can think of. I honestly, I'm not sure what I want to do either. So I haven't come up with.
Okay, I'm gonna do orange. Do I have orange now?
Don't worry about doing colors right now, Alejandro. Right now, we're just practicing the drawing part, okay?
I did my Roblox avatar now.
How many times did you draw your Roblox character?
0. This is my first time.
Okay, so before you start using colors, I want you to do it a couple of times with pencil, okay? The color part we can add at the end, but you want to make sure that you can draw it the same every time. So practice a few more times.
Oh my gosh, this is super perfect.
Nice, you got a good idea for it?
Oh my gosh.
Whoa, Alejandra, that's cool. I like that. You can use that for your pop art too.
Drawing. This is my second drawing.
Oh, great. Alejandro, that looks good. Good job. Practice a couple more times.
Or not yet.
Anybody have any suggestions for what I should do? I don't have any idea.
Ooh, your Roblox character.
My Roblox character?
Yeah.
I want to try. Well, let's see. What's important to me? Maybe I'll start with that because that's what Andy Warhol did, right? He chose things that were important.
Soccer is important to you.
Soccer is important to me. Ooh, I like that. I can maybe do a soccer ball. Ooh, okay. Oh, an emoji. That's a smart one. Yeah, you can do any emoji that you like. Maybe you can do the one with the tongue sticking out. But what you want to do is practice it multiple times until you get it just right. So let's see. Soccer ball, right? All right, let's see with the circle. And maybe you start drawing something and you realize it's a little bit too hard for you. You want to switch it up? Switch it up. Circles might be a little hard for you to get them just every time.
Let's go.
Go.
So now what's gonna do with my Roblox avatar? Oh, this is gonna be super cool.
I think drawing this might take me too long. Drawing these little shapes for the soccer ball.
There we go. So we need like, oh no.
And if you have an idea and if you're having a hard time drawing it on paper, let me know and I can give you some tips.
No, this doesn't work. So I need to do the So I need to do the orange first because it doesn't match.
Yeah, if you want to practice a little bit with your colors, practice a little bit with your colors. Try to figure out what two colors go really good together. What makes it pop out? Look at these nice bright colors.
Orange now, right? Because I needed to do
Nice.
orange.
Yeah, very, very nice.
I need to do like orange first.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. Maybe you need to practice. And remember, this is our practice one. We're not going to do the whole thing today. Okay, so Liam, that looks great. When we do our, when we do next class, how many squares do you think you want to use? If you want to use 4 squares, then your drawings are going to need to be bigger to fill up those squares. If you're going to draw small, you can do as many squares as you want. So that might be something to start thinking about. For example, this Among Us one has 9 squares. This soup one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, has 20 squares. This one only has 4. This one has 9. So start thinking about how many squares you want, and that's going to help you come up with the right size for your drawings. Okay. The more squares, the smaller your drawing has to be.
Yes, I got it.